Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Always Be Testing podcast. I'm your host, DeGrange, and I'm really excited to talk to Jason Fuentes today. Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Beautiful sunny day in Austin, Texas. Thank God. The freeze has passed us. So I can't complain.
We're back. I went and grabbed a quick bite and I was walking down Congress, appreciating the sunshine, and people are kind of out. It almost feels spring-like, even though we're still in winter.
Yeah, I think I'm almost ready to jump in the pool. I mean, I was out, yesterday, sitting out on the back, 78 degrees. Started getting a little bit, feeling the heat.
I love it. I love it. It's coming to be that time. So for those that don't know Jason, he is an illustrious member of our Austin affiliate marketing community. We get together periodically and a veteran of the affiliate space. I'll let him kind of give more of the background, but maybe for those that don't know you, maybe jump in with a little bit of little wildfire action. Tell me about what they do.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, veteran of the affiliate space. I mean, no joke. When I think back to first job, it was affiliate, right? Not knowing it, I was just happy to have a job, but it was affiliate, manually scrubbing lead lists. This was doing lead generation through these online, I forget what it was called, but these online schools back in the day.
Yeah.
University of Phoenix. It was
Yep.
2000, 2005-ish, right? University of Phoenix, if I still remember correctly, was the industry's largest advertiser at the time. And so we built these portals and we would distribute them and collect leads and manually scrub them, right? Hand over a file through Excel, and UOP would come back and say, "Yeah, these are good. We'll pay for these, not for these." And it goes some back and forth, and it's like, "Do it again,
They,
do
they
it again."
were They were so huge. I mean, I feel like every role I had in the 2000s, University of Phoenix was involved somehow because they were spending so much.
Totally, it was so much money, and it's like, it is what it is. But it's funny starting there, going through this progression of really ad tech for me back in the Bay Area and watching ad tech 1.0, 2.0. I don't know what point oh we're at now, 4.0 maybe, 5.0, but it's been a good progression.
Hmm.
And so doing that and being involved in ad networks and programmatic and social and mobile and CPMs and CPVs and CPAs and CPLs and CP, who knows what else exists at this point. Um, Spend some time digital media production, podcasts, and producing social media channels and all sorts of really fun stuff. Fast forward to today, here I am, back in the middle of it again,
Yeah.
right? Back
Yeah.
into affiliate, back to where it all started. Slightly different format though nowadays, and so Wildfire, for the folks who are not familiar with what we do, um, ultimately we white label a loyalty and rewards platform for businesses, mainly financial institutions, for white label a loyalty reward solution for digital businesses to help them increase revenue, user engagement, and loyalty. And a lot of it comes through in the form of creating more value for their users in the form of shopping companions. Shopping companion, a lot of people may recognize as like a Capital One shopping, right? That's an idea or an example of a shopping companion. And so we build these shopping companions that offer cashback, rewards, coupons, discounts, and more recently, including capabilities to highlight product upsells, remind members of program benefits, all encapsulated and put together into this really user-friendly UI.
Yep.
Um,
I just want to interject. I think it's fascinating that you're talking about kind of tapping into loyalty with Wildfire. And I think that's something that people don't always realize the importance of. They're often focused on that acquisition side. They don't always think about that. How do you keep them coming back? How do you keep that healthiness and retention and engagement? And then without that, you can't really have effective monetization. So I just think it's a great call out of what you were kind of sharing of all the pieces of the marketing puzzle that Wildfire kind of touches.
Yeah, 100%, right. And I think affiliate is such a big part of it and such a friendly part of it, natural part of it as well. Like, because I think one of the things that we do the best, and this is Wildfire as a company, Wildfire in the tools that we build, and Wildfire in kind of the way that we think about our next um, our next product. Um, One, it's user first, making it simple, easy, literally making it like stupid for them not to see it, engage with it, benefit from it. And so really like from a experience perspective is building these experiences that organically fit in a user's journey, right? When we talk about rewards and loyalty in our world, it really encompasses the concept of cashback, right? You're going to go buy something, um, and if you engage through this mechanism, there's a little reward for you over here, compliments of a white label partner. You know, on our side, that could be um, financial institutions like Citi, Acorns, RBC, even non-financial institutions, including Microsoft. But for example purposes, we'll talk about Citi. And so the program that we built out for them is well, it's all encompassing. It's called Citi Shop. But from an extension standpoint, for example, Citi user can install this extension called the Citi Shop extension.
Hmm.
And this shopping companion is intended to add value to the user's organic user behavior. And what that means is this isn't a tool that says, hey, go buy this thing. Hey, go buy this other thing. Hey, there's a deal over here, right? Oh, and go look at the price on this thing. You have to go get it. That's not what a shopping companion is supposed to do,
Hmm.
at least in our world, right?
Hmm.
In our world, we understand that users are going to buy stuff, right? And for example, for me, I'm a regular at Chewy.com. I have three dogs, all over
What,
70 pounds,
what kind
right?
of dogs?
They're all mutts. Yeah,
Ours are too.
yeah, they're all mutts.
Yeah.
I think the
Big.
only common denominator is like some sort of like German Shepherd mix in them, and across the
Nice.
three, right? There's like less in this one. There's a German Shepherd pity, right? And she's much more on the pity side. But you can see if I tell you Shepherd, you're like, okay, yeah, I see it. And then there's the one in the middle that's like a cross between the two. You look at him and he's like, that's like a German Shepherd pity, like bingo. And then
Nice.
the youngest one is on the German Shepherd side. And so you see her and she's like, okay, that looks like a Shepherd, but like Shepherds aren't that color.
Yeah.
And so big dogs, right? 70 pounds each. And so it leads to a lot of shopping trips at Chewy.com, right? And so
Yep.
there are many places where I could go buy dog food. Um, I can jump on the internet and search for deals here, deals there, right? Who's got this food? Who's got that food? What's closer? Who's going to get here faster? Um, and the cool part about these shopping companions, these extensions, City Shop, is the tool itself is not routing me this way, this way, this way, this way, right? It's not a bazaar. It's like go deals, deals, deals everywhere. Um, Rather, it's taking my cues on how I search for what I'm going to buy next, and if it has something relevant, it brings it up to me. So we call it a little SERP injection, search engine results plugin, where in the organic search results of whatever I'm shopping for, if a participating merchant is in line or comes up within the organic search query, there's a little call out that says City Shop has a reward for you here. And it'll say like cashback. It's like, get shop here at this merchant click right here to go there, and you get
Hmm.
3% cash back, or whatever it may be. And so, example, right, of us inserting ourselves into the organic journey of this consumer. When I go to, if I were to go directly to chewy.com, for example, because that's the behavior that I'm organically doing, it'll alert me and say, hey, I have a reward for you here. Tap here and earn $4.05 on this, next order
Amazing.
of dog food, or whatever it may be. And so, by not focusing on trying to predict, right? That was my AdTech 1.0 and AdTech 2.0 days, was just trying to predict, what this
Yeah.
user is going to buy, and try to get an ad in front of them to help
Yeah.
influence this decision. We take a much more user-centric approach that's like, okay, well, like, go buy the things you want to go buy. Go
Yeah.
buy it where you want
100%.
to go buy it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, go to the merchant where you have an existing
Yeah.
relationship with, and if we have a reward for you,
Yeah.
we'll let you know. If we
I
have a
love that
coupon for you,
framework.
we'll let you know.
I like the framework. It's like the goal here is kind of augmenting the experience of someone that's already journeying along their path to purchase. And it's not as much like, forcing a hand or being as instructive. And it kind of reminds me of some thinking lately that's bubbled up around all of these big time privacy measures that have been rolled out over the last 5+ years, and some of them kick the can down the road. Who knows the cost of them? Don't want to go too down this rabbit hole, but it feels like I've heard a lot of very smart people that are deep in this space like us. Obviously we have a self-interest, but I think net it's like a lot of the personalization, a lot of the helpfulness, a lot of the tracking isn't necessarily nefarious. Certainly, there's fraud exists in every business, and digital is no exception to that. But I've heard some really interesting things, kind of echoing your thought there of like, hey, this is a net kind of gently guiding the user, giving them resources, giving them information, personalizing for them. So I just kind of echo that sentiment. Obviously, you got to kind of manage your own attribution and your own systems and be thoughtful about privacy and checking boxes on following laws and whatnot. But man, I think it's a good call out that this is a guide. That's the goal of it, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's doing the whole predictive analytics stuff with advertising is fun. Um, it's really fun, and I think AI will change a lot of how that's done.
Hmm.
Um, but as you noted, right, over the last few years, um, it takes data to power all that. It takes data to run all those models and to run those algorithms
Absolutely.
to predict X, Y, and Z. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
and there's a lot of data out there. How much should you have access to? Um, and what I really
Yeah.
like about our site is just like, well, we don't need it. We don't need. We actually have like, we're allergic to PII. We don't want it. We don't need it. We're not a data company. We're not a data
Love it.
company. We're not here to
Love
take
it.
user behavior from this instance, model it, and try to replicate it over here to get two more purchases off of this one purchase, and go from there. Been there, done that. It was fun, as I said.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
think, um, in
That's
our
awesome.
world, in our world, we are very data driven. Don't get me wrong, but we utilize it in a way that puts it in the control of our partner, of our publisher, versus us.
And
So take, for example,
yeah.
we can go back to Chewy as an example, right? Theoretically, I buy dog food. Great, right? Data comes through that says Jason buys dog food. He bought 2 bags of dog food, 24 pounds each or 22 pounds each. I think dog food's one of those things that keeps, like, is shrinkflation. Or what's the
Yes.
concept where, like, the package keeps
Yes.
getting smaller but the price stays the
Yeah.
same? Dog food, one of
Eggs,
those.
chips, everything. It's too much.
Yeah, and so, in our perspective, we see that in through the affiliate rails. This is all public data, right? From an affiliate standpoint, here's the transaction, here's the transaction details, here's what we need for an attribution perspective. We pass that through, um, and we leave it up to the partner to decide what they want to do with that data. We don't have the customer. We don't know the customer. We don't want to know the customer, right? Our business is to connect the customer to the thing that they want to buy and create a connection between the affiliate, the merchant, ourselves, the platform, the user, and the partner.
Beautiful.
Success, right?
Well said.
User did a transaction.
Well
Success.
said. That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, yeah,
What?
but is
What?
there? Go ahead.
Oh no, no. Continue. Continue.
Yeah, and so success, right? Mission accomplished. Users happy. Everybody involved is happy. Um, but is there value in understanding details around that transaction? Yes, right? SKU gets passed through, let's assume, and it's Stella and Shoe's, right? Okay, well, there's data around that, right? And the average cost is XYZ. In a perfect world, and this is some of the forward-thinking stuff that we're helping arm our partners with, our publishers with, is in a perfect world that data comes through. It gets ingested again on the partner side, not on our side, and that is data that can be used to help influence and personalize the experience the next time around.
Love
Right.
that.
So the next time,
The personalization piece is just what's lacking for so many, and it's so critical.
I completely agree. Right. Like in many cases, open up your bank's app, right? And you're there to manage your finances, right? Money coming in, money coming out. What does the portfolio look like? You're thinking about past purchases, next purchases, and you scroll down. Sometimes you have to scroll way down, but within there's offers, right? There's get 10% cash back for buying this thing or shopping here. Great. I mean, I think the next iteration of what these programs will do is actually take the data that's happening from a user's uh, uh, banking, or I'm sorry, a user's shopping history to personalize that
Yep.
experience, preferably on a one-to-one basis, right? I don't think there's nothing, there's nothing odd as a consumer if I make these transactions. The bank
Yep.
already knows they processed them, right? Like it says right there in my statement, you spent
Yep.
X amount of money at this retailer. Great. There's
Yep.
nothing odd about being able to jump into my offer section and be like, oh, there's a reward for me to go back, right?
Yep.
From that merchant. Awesome.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, we're not there
It's
yet.
clear. It's clear you're building out something that's working, and I think the big takeaway for me is this notion of being very centric to the user, centric to the partner. It's what's made Amazon successful. It's what Apple's successful. It's what's made Wildfire successful. It's what the successes that we've had at RBL. It's like really critical, and I think it's kind of taken over the ecosystem. It's just what everyone needs to be thinking about, and I commend you and your successes for doing it and thinking about building and structuring things in that way. Um,
Yeah, agreed.
yeah.
Completely agree. Right. The
Hey,
model on our side, I mean, honestly, it's we're only successful if our partners are successful. Like the way
yeah.
that the
Yeah.
economics work, right? It's we get paid when they get paid, um,
Yep.
and that starts at the user, right? So if the user's having
Yep.
a positive experience with the program, that's great for the customer of the publisher, right? If that experience was positive for the user of
Yep.
the publisher, it's great for us,
Absolutely.
right? And then you add in the merchant, right? The merchant got a sale, awesome,
Yep.
right? So you've got four parties involved, and to make all of them happy simultaneously,
Yeah.
it's
Powerful.
difficult. Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's powerful if you can do it.
I love it.
And fortunately, I
Love
think we
it.
cracked the code on that.
Well done. Well done. And for folks that don't know, Jason, what do you do at Wildfire?
I oversee business development and strategic partnerships, which ultimately is engaging with prospective publishers, prospective partners, many of which happen to be financial institutions, right? Whether it's a mobile first bank, a traditional bank, or a blend, right, of the two, which we see nowadays. I
Yep,
engage with those pretty regularly to ultimately educate them on the platform. And if they're
that's
interested
awesome.
in a solution like this, working with them to calibrate the right
Yeah,
there's the right setup because it's not a one size fits all approach for us.
yeah,
We really have to pay attention. It starts at the user, right? It starts at the customer. Um,
love that.
the customer profile of Bank A, not the same customer profile as Bank B, and so from that perspective, we have to think of creating experiences, going back to something I said earlier, that are natural and organic to the user. Is this a mobile first uh,
Love that.
customer? Is it a mobile first publisher, mobile first bank? Okay, great. Then let's focus on that experience so that
That's great.
we're not we're not creating experiences that are routing a user to a surface or
Yeah.
a surface that they're not engaging with, why,
Yep.
which we've seen happen.
Yep.
But ultimately,
What
it starts at the user.
That's great. With dealing with that audience in finance a little bit, are you finding that you're meeting with them? Is it primarily remotely? Or are you getting together in person? Tell me a bit about just how that looks for you.
That's a great question, and I think honestly the answer is probably different today than it was pre-COVID. Um,
Yeah.
Wildfire is a fully remote company.
Yep.
San Diego foundings, but ultimately, right, we're a COVID era company, and so everyone we've got. I don't know how many states we cover, and we're not huge, but we're pretty well dispersed throughout the country, and I think. As such, I mean, globally, right? Everyone was going through the same circumstances, um, and so we had to conduct business virtually, right, or not conduct business at all.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking even pre-COVID because I was dealing with financial institutions
Yep.
pre-COVID.
Yep.
I would say there was it was to tell you the truth, virtual, right? Most of the conversations, a lot of the work is getting done virtual.
Yeah.
I
That
think
totally makes sense.
yeah, where it gets
We're
into in
fully,
person is really around the sales cycle. Selling into a bank, you take any of your top five banks,
yep.
3 year, 4 year sales cycle. 2 years if you're really good at it, and it's just we need the solution, we need this now, and now in many cases for larger organizations as well, 2027, right? But typically, the I think we were able to um, bridge a lot of the virtual and in person by successfully navigating and
Yeah.
utilizing conferences,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like
It's a huge piece. I mean, such a huge part of our industry, right? It's an important piece. So I love that. And
important
we were
piece and a fun
just that
piece.
one. Yeah, you gotta bring the human nature out of the relationship and partnership game, and it's a huge piece of it all. Just pulling it back a little bit on the thinking through the role, right? And the pod is so focused on experimentation and those learnings. And I know you think in those terms, and you have kind of a product mind, which is really interesting. What are some of those campaigns or just experiments that you've run that you think are fascinating that you want to share with the audience?
Totally. There's a few, and I think almost like everything that we do falls into partially into that bucket because we're a startup, and we're innovative, and we're constantly try new things. All right, I got an idea. Great, let's talk about it. And we get around and talk about it a little bit deeper. And it's like, you know what? I think that has legs, right? Let's model it out and see if the model looks good. And if the model looks good, it's like, okay, let's put some engineering resources around this thing and see if we got a beta, right, customer or a customer that can take a beta on this thing. And so that's a lot of how we operate. And it's allowed us as an organization to move fast, stay lean, and not make the wrong decision in terms of right putting putting all our assets right into this product um, without having any feedback on, well, what is the market asking? What are the users saying? What is the market
Mhm.
asking? What are our partners saying? So very close ear to the ground on our partners, their users, the industry. Um, Still a little bit of gut instinct, right? Because we have to stay ahead of the curve. That's part of winning in the game is staying ahead of the curve, and so it's kind of the mindset, right, of how we operate. And so a couple of these successful use cases and ideas that have ultimately turned into not just products, but wildly successful products. So recently we announced what we call the Wildfire Commerce Network. And uh, to the audience, I think the easiest way to help understand what the Wildfire Commerce Network is, it functions similar to a retail media network. Um, and so we have these relationships with financial institutions and non-financial institutions, but they're close relationships. They're ingrained relationships, as I mentioned earlier. Like we win when the partner wins, and so we're constantly working with our partners directly to help them um, drive more
Mhm.
transactions,
Mhm.
increase loyalty, increase engagement. And this three pronged approach will speak to another product that we just released that speaks to like trials and things that are going well. But from the Wildfire Commerce Network perspective, we operate real estate. Let's just call it the bank's app for easy purposes. But we operate real estate within the bank's app. That real estate happens to be very brand safe. Um, there's a user mindset from a consumer standpoint where they're engaged in their everyday finances while
Mhm.
in this app. Um,
Mhm.
so it's interesting real estate. And what we found out and are finding out, it's pretty lucrative real estate. And so the concept of the Wildfire Commerce Network was um, bring in um, bring in a brand, bring in a merchant, bring in an experience front and center um, into the app to help highlight the opportunity of well branding, opportunity to earn another reward, opportunity to earn increased cash back, however it may be. It's really the concept of bringing a specific brand or brands forward into this type of experience to help create an additional touch point between the user, the
Love
banking
that.
app, and the merchant.
Love it. Love it.
And we really only started doing this a few months ago, like honestly. But
Uh,
it has skyrocketed, right? And it takes the
that's
concept
great.
of the retail media network, but almost kind of like an ad network approach of it, because we're not
Yep.
just City Shop, right? We're not just Acorns, right?
Yeah,
We're
you
not
have a
just
lot of
RBC.
inventory.
We have a lot of inventory with a very like-minded consumer. Yes, they do span the spectrum in terms of like age, right? Some are younger, some are older. Household income, right? You get your debit card audience,
Hmm.
typically less household income. Credit card audience, you're going to see a little bit more.
Yep.
And so it allows us to create this retail media-esque
I like
delivery
that.
mechanism, but across a network.
I like that.
And so that's been a very
Do you,
successful
do you, that's
concept
amazing.
for us.
That's amazing. Do you have plans to kind of go out and acquire more inventory? And is there kind of like a vision for the long term with this with wildfire? And
100%. That's my job.
there you go.
That is my job, is to
Hunting it down.
bring in more partners, bring in more publishers, right, to add more of that inventory. And as we
Love it.
look into,
Love
right,
it.
the 60-day vision, the 90-day vision, so we're not talking about too far out, because we have to have a pretty good view on what's our next step, right? How are we building this thing out, but not ignoring the 2-year vision.
Yep.
But as we look into that right, that near term vision, is taking this approach, taking this type of user experience, and and making it seamless across
Love that.
all the touch points
Love that.
that we
Love
operate,
that.
right?
Beautiful.
Extensions, and shopping portals and tiles, within this
Mhm.
app. Email, right? Because email ultimately happens to be probably the most important tool for us in terms of driving
I mean,
awareness of the
I mean, just
program.
that, just stepping back and thinking in our ecosystem, how one thing we love, you and I and everyone in it, the best part about affiliate is not a channel. It's a so many inventory sources. It's a channel of channels. You have access to everything. And just via this conversation, you're talking about the SERP, search engine results page, you're talking about in-app, high quality, well branded, personalized offers in-app for financial institutions, you're talking about email. I love the breadth of what you're providing. There's a lot of inventory here that I think, not to like tout Wixfire too much, but it's a really interesting learning example for people that are not as familiar with the affiliate industry to see the level of tech and product and user experience that you guys have put into this, that you're thinking about, and like how many touch points that is quite compelling.
Yeah, I agree, right? And when you look at, when you boil down a touch point, right, it's just another engagement. Um, but you take an app of a financial services provider, who's, let's take like your mortgage provider.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You check in with them once a month, literally. It's when the bills due, right? Your
Yeah.
mortgage is due. It's like, oh,
Pay the
yeah,
bill.
yeah, awesome,
See ya.
great, good to hear from you again. All right, take my money. I'm like, see you next month. And so when you take into consider that real estate, that touch point, which is literally once every 30 days, and we come into the equation, we can increase that significantly.
Yep.
So it's not just, hey, you owe me money, right? Like, thanks.
Yep.
There's other ways, not just through cashback, right? I think cashback is kind of the easiest way to understand the power of the tool set and the distribution, but it's really just real estate. And so whether it's through
Yeah.
an extension, whether it's through, a portal, whether it's through this email
Yep.
communication, we work with these partners to create additional touch points of value, right? It's really about just creating more value for that consumer.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's some of the other stuff that we're getting into is like, we're creating value for the consumer, not just through the things that we power, but more so working with these partners closely to interlace other benefits that financial institution might have for the user. And if those benefits make sense to surface through our tool set, through our UI, even though we're not the provider of those services, right? But it benefits the user and it benefits the publisher. So in the end, if those two win, I'm going to win one way or another. As
Exactly.
is the
I
other
love that.
services provider. So it's like utilizing,
I, I,
utilizing the complete infrastructure to add
yeah.
value to the user experience.
Yeah. I love that complete thinking about the partner is really a great call out there. You're really being partner centric and thoughtful about how it fits together. When we think about all this inventory and all the options you have, you're obviously serving the financial institution or the fintech partner very well here. And when you think about the other side of that marketplace where the brand, the Chewies of the world are kind of interacting, what are some things that the best in class brands do to really nail the interaction with Wildfire, that really nail the partnership approach that you see work best in action?
Yeah, I think. There's a couple of different variables that come in, but I think the discovery process in the very beginning is very important. And like I mentioned earlier, the audience and customer base of partner A versus partner B, they're different. And so we have to boil down into understanding what that truly means, because that's going to impact the types of tools that we build and provide. It's going to impact the messaging. It's going to impact the imaging. It impacts the whole thing, right? And so when you've got say millennial audience, right? You're
Hmm.
looking for you're going to
Yep.
use a different tone, right, versus a different generation. And so so step one is like, let's figure this all out first, and that largely is um, the partners share. Like, we don't know, we're not magicians, we don't know who your customer is, but help us understand. And so from there we can start building or we can start understanding
Yep.
a profile and putting together a strategy that ultimately
Yep.
is going to address the bigger picture, right?
Love it.
And
Love it.
when we get into the bigger picture, there's a solution that we call it the benefits and loyalty amplifier, right? We call it BLAM for short. And what BLAM is intended to do is, it's a user centric approach to creating a, uh, the stickiest type of relationship that you can create between a customer and that financial institution. What that means
Yep.
is, we're in there offering cash back and coupons and discounts. Great. You can count on Wildfire to do that. But
Yep.
that financial institution might also have ancillary benefits to being
Yep.
a customer. For example, let's say that partner offers card linked offers, for example, and there's a card linked offer for the Italian restaurant in the neighborhood. We don't power card linked offers. Um, we don't engage with those types of merchants. We're fully an online solution. But does that mean we should ignore it? We can, but we don't, because that benefit is valuable to the user. Or take into consideration, some credit cards, for example, have benefits tied to your rental car, and like paying for covering the liability or whatever it may be, but you have to use that card, right?
Yep.
Otherwise,
Yep.
you got to pay Hertz or whomever it may be, right? That
Yep.
extra $40 or however much they want.
Yeah.
But had you known that that was part of the benefit of this card, you probably would have used it. It's just one kind of
Love it.
box to check. And so with
Yep.
BLAM, what we're doing is working with a partner to help understand, what are all the benefits that you provide to
Yep.
the customer, all of them.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like, it's all these, including, right,
Hmm.
these 20 benefits that get listed in the, that pamphlet when you get a new credit card,
Yeah.
right? And you open it up, and it's like, it unfolds,
Well,
and it's like, no one reads that thing, right? It's smallest text,
well,
right? You're going to turn it inside out. These are
well,
all your benefits. I'm like, okay, well, nobody knows that. It's like, well, let's surface
yeah.
them all
Well,
through the
yeah. And I
UI.
think maybe one thing we can do is kind of drop some visuals on some folks in the audience at some point and give them some background on ways they can kind of see that value and play with it. I think that's just spot on. You kind of touched on this a little bit coming down the home stretch here as we kind of come into a bit of the rapid fire and wrap up. I love this partner centric approach. So many touch points in the ecosystem. We talked about a little bit of predictive analytics and how brands can engage, how your finance partners and your inventory can engage. How are you using predictive analytics in the day to day? How are you kind of thinking about it in terms of the strategy of structuring these deals and such?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and a really powerful question amongst a lot of industries and a lot of companies. But when we look at our core, right, the answer is like, not so much, because we don't have to, right? It's like our our approach is not necessarily about predicting what the user is going to buy next. It's really around inserting ourselves into the organic journey of that user, right? And with the power of the partner brand, call it City Shop again, is inserting ourselves into there and being like, hey, I got a reward for you. Like, just tap here and you get this reward for us for buying the thing that you were already going to buy. Right. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I mean, I can't speak for our engineering team and kind of like what they're doing on the back end, but on the front end, right,
Yeah,
as the one who is um, enabling these publishers with the tool set and all the levers, right,
yeah,
that they can pull. Um, it's the experience that we deliver is really much more of a pull than it is a push, right? We're not
yeah,
pushing the user to go buy this or that. It's much more
yeah.
let's react to what the user is telling
Love
us, right?
that.
We'll pull from there and just make
Love
it a
that.
rewarding experience for the customer.
I love that. And I love that that's kind of brings it almost full circle back to what you really emphasized at the beginning is that you're there to aid that customer journey. You're not forcing their hand in any way. And there's just a lot of, data personalization and great things that you're using to support that. So well done and spot on. Coming down the home stretch to our semi quick fire round to get to know Jason a little bit. Um, what's something people might not know about you?
Yeah, very little people would know this about me unless they
Yep.
were in the high school like music scene back in the day. I grew up with playing a lot of instruments, doing a lot of music, which was awesome, right? I think that those experiences benefit me a lot, like down the line. But the claim to fame, right, in all that music and the talent was, what year was this? Sort of in year 2000. So in the year 2000, I was the second best tuba player in the state of Texas.
Wow. That's huge. That's amazing. That's like
Second best.
epic talent trivia. We have like a affiliate talent show. Jason's gonna be on stage rocking the tuba.
Now
That's
I haven't touched,
my
yeah,
favorite fun fact of the day.
I haven't touched it since probably 2001. But fact, you can look it up. I'm sure it's on
Uh,
the internet somewhere. Second
rock
best tuba
on,
player in
man.
the state of Texas, 2000.
Well done. Well done. Mic drop. Favorite vacation of all time, or one of your favorites of all time, favorite trip, vacation story.
Ah, yeah, there's three that come to mind. And so places, talk about places.
Yeah, yeah,
Two of these I keep going to. I love them so
yeah.
much. It's Costa Rica and New Orleans. Um, Costa Rica is, I mean, it depends, right? Like what type of vacationer you are. I'm the type of vacationer that wants to go pull up a chair, right, on the beach, right? I'm going to sit there
I'm on
and,
board with this
yeah, and I don't
plan.
want to be bothered, right?
Yeah, I'm
When
on
I
board with
get,
this plan.
yeah, when I get too
This is
hot,
my agenda as well.
I'm gonna walk into the
For
ocean,
those curious.
right? Cool off, right? And look back and do one of these for another bucket of beers, right? That's my
I
vacation.
mean, sounds good. Sounds
And
good.
the
Sorted it.
the beaches and the resorts that I've experienced in Costa Rica, I just keep going back to. Like
I
it's
really want to
perfect.
go to you're making me want to go to Costa Rica. I've heard it from a lot of people. I've never been. So that's a solid choice.
Yeah, it's a good spot. And there's a lot of ways to do Costa Rica. I mean,
Yep.
I know
Yep.
family members that have gone, they were like, never going
Yep.
back. They did it differently. They did it differently.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bugs,
For
right? You
for
could
people
go in the
out
rainforest.
for for people in the audience who want to get the proper Costa Rica trip, hit up Jason. We'll give you the info to how to do it right. Jason, it's been a pleasure, man. You dropped some great knowledge, shared your experience, a lot of good learnings. It's been awesome to talk to you. I know we'll get together at some point here in Texas and catch up, but really appreciated it, man.
You got it. This is awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
will for sure see you at the next conference.
Yeah, no doubt. And last thing, just for folks that want to learn more about Jason, where can they learn more about you?
LinkedIn. I don't do social media. I haven't participated in social media in probably like 4 or 5 years. Um, I have other
Awesome.
hobbies. Yeah, I got other
Yeah,
hobbies, but need to find me.
it's better
LinkedIn.
that way.
Yeah,
Hell
it
yeah.
really is.
Ask him about tubas in Costa Rica. Jason, you're the man. Always a pleasure.
See ya.